Hey everyone, it's Adaptive Goddess, and today I'm here at the Richmond Beach Library Park to start off my sensory rating system for local parks. So I'm starting this series to kind of give a guide and my perspective on certain parks that I visit or in neighborhoods to kind of help parents figure out good places for their children to play, and that way they have someone who is autistic kind of giving a summary of what I think are some of the really good features to have in a park. So I will have my rating system here. So the rating process for the parks is simple. We have 6 different senses, that is touch, balance/body awareness, sight, hearing, taste, and smell. And it's rated a 1 to 5 scale, 5 being the highest, 1 being kind of the lowest. So for things like touch, there's many different textures that kids are encouraged to touch or feel. For a 3 rating, it's a 1 or 2 different textures, and then 1 is that the park doesn't really incorporate different textures and it's just kind of the same. For balance and body awareness, it is about how many play structures there are. So for 5, there's many different play structures or different levels. For 3, it's 1 or 2. For 1, there's not a play structure or no other way of kind of doing some balance or some kind of body movement. For sight, it's about different colors and just kind of different play structure, things to look at. Like, is it a pretty view? Is there a view? Is there just different things to look at? 3 is just kind of, are there different colors? 1 is that it's the same color or it's just way too bright for all the colors and they don't really match. For hearing, it's about different sounds and playing equipment, to be a 5. For 3, it just is different sounds, and for 1, it's too loud. For taste, so this is about what is within a 3-minute walk or a 5-minute drive, just kind of what are things around that are restaurants. So for 5, there's many different restaurants. For 3, there's a few. For 1, there's 0, or just they're all the same, like it's all fast food. For smell, 5 is that there are many plants or the surroundings give off different scents and smells that aren't overpowering. It's really just about being overpowering. So 3, it's just a few. And 1 is that the area is too, like it smells too much, or there's just way too many overpowering smells. So that way the brain gets a little overworked in that department. So now that we got the rating system out of the way, I'm going to use that rating system matrix to go through the park. So first up is sight. I like how beautiful it is here. There is a really nice view of the Puget Sound and the mountains over on that side. It's very green, it's very naturey. There's a lot of really pretty houses to look at. There's some flowers, but mainly the color scheme is green and brown. I wish there was a little bit more color. So I rated that a 2 because there wasn't a lot of color in it. Next up, we're going to do balance
and body awareness. So this is more of like the play structures and the swings and the like little balance animals that we have. So there's a climbing wall, there's a rickety bridge, there is a balance animal that's really fun, there are swings, there's a running path. So there's a lot of really good things, and there's a really good play structure in 2 play structures actually in this park. One for littler kids, one for older kids. So I rated this a 5 out of 5 because I thought it was really good to have all these different features in the park. So then the next thing I have is taste. And what that is in my matrix is how many restaurants are in like a 3-mile or a 3-minute walk from the park. And so from this park in particular, there is a convenience store called the Little Store, which does have a really good selection of just like snacks or ice creams. There's also a pizzeria and a bistro. Also pretty close, just like down the street, which is really nice. It's not a lot of variety, but I mean, pizza is always good. But I like the convenience store because it kind of can give what people want for pretty much anything. If you don't mind driving, maybe a 3-minute drive up the road, there is Italian and teriyaki and barbecue and Thai and a coffee shop. So driving wise, there's a little bit more variety, but because I'm making this as a 3-minute walk, the selection's pretty limited, only being like 2 restaurants and a convenience store. So I had this as like a 1. Scratch that, a 2. I had this as a 2. So for touch, for tactile, I was looking at all the different kind of textures that are around. And so like there's wood chips, which I know isn't like everyone's favorite tactile, but there are like, there's grass, but it's kind of hard, like it's not super soft. There is wood. There are concrete walk paths, but there are also like some pretty plants and some dirt. So, I mean, it's like a typical park where it's not quite a lot, but in terms of a bunch of different surfaces to touch, like the climbing wall has like a rock feature where it's not just climbing, but it feels like a rock, but smoother. There's a lot of different textures on the different play equipment. So I actually rated this a 5 out of 5 just because of how much effort went into all the different textures of the playground and not just like of the park. I also have hearing, and so for that it's like, what kind of sounds are there? It's not a really noisy area unless like the train is coming by and it decides to honk or blow its horn. There is some traffic on that side, but overall it's pretty quiet. You can hear the animals chirping. Sometimes you can hear like ferry boats, and if it's like even really quiet, sometimes you can hear just like waves. But overall it's like a really peaceful and pretty park. I like listening to the birds that live in these trees. So last up is smell, and that is kind of like what kind of non-overpowering smells are here. So for that, sometimes you can smell the ocean. Otherwise you can smell like the trees and the grass. There are some flowers that are fragrant, but they're not like overpowering. It's not a smelly area, like the garbage cans aren't over full. It's very clean. It smells very clean. It just smells like nature, and it's really like it's a nice park to visit. So for both hearing and for smell, I rated them pretty high, with smell being a 5 out of 5 and hearing being a 3 out of 5, only because the train can get kind of loud. But that only comes every so often. Like right now it's not running and you really can't hear it. So yeah, this is Richmond Beach Library Park. Overall, I rate it a 18 out of 30. A lot of that comes just from the restaurants that are around. Like this is a more residential area, a more residential park. The food and stuff is more of a drive, and so it's kind of a lot of pre-planning. So if you're going to come to this park, either make a picnic. There is a lot of place to have a picnic, which is great. But if you're coming here on like a whim, I would maybe stop by the little store or get like a pizza or whatever food that you really like on your way here, or have someone, as you guys are starting to get hungry, go get the food. So that is my overall review for Richmond Beach Library Park. Again, I rate it a 18 out of 30 for myself, but I have gone to this park before. I used to play here, and it is a really nice park. There's also, I don't know if you can see, but there are tennis courts too if your child is so sports inclined. So, yep, that is it for my video. Comment down below. Would you go to this park? Do you think you would enjoy this park, or your kid would enjoy this park? I know I really did, because there's a library, and so you can go get books. So that is it for my video. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe and gently tap that like button. And remember to be kind, compassionate, and true to you.